Hello darlings, this is a recap of the video I did yesterday, MOMO, triple goddess, triple L, MOMO. So I'm going to try and make this as clear as possible. So we begin with this High Priestess. Okay, High Priestess. High Priestess, images. Okay, so this is the dark side of the moon. We can't see it. This is Babylon, this is Leo, and this is Pisces, Judaism that we're leaving now. The Sun rules Babylon and Jupiter rules Pisces. I'm going to show you the planets. This is very important. In fact, we're going to start with that. We're going to start with the planets. Okay, the Sun rules Leo, the Moon rules Cancer. Mercury rules the two little children, Jack and Jill. Gemini, mutable air, and Virgo, mutable earth. This is the pre-adolescent sexual, this is Mary Magdalene, and this is Pan. This is little Gemini, and these are the Caduceus twins. This is our ability to transmute liquids into solid and then into gas. This is our communication. This is our voice. That's why in The Little Mermaid, they always it's always about the voice, and that's why we've got the voice out now. That's why we had the attacks in Las Vegas, because the vagus nerve is in our throat, and we need to get up the vagus nerve to lubricate our voices and to speak up and to speak our truth. So this is our voice, our communication, and in the little boy it's logic, gossip, all forms of travel, short travel, distance, because Mercury's always close to the Sun. This is the messenger, the teacher, and it's the healer, the analytical, into the daily routine, holistic, looking after yourself, service to other people, work. This is that pre-adolescent girl in her ripest, and she can be the whore or the Virgin Mary, the black and the white. And Gemini is the green man. He works with her for the ecology and everything we're seeing. Then we've got Venus, our heart, our electromagnetic pulse. That is which is the negative and positive electromagnetic spin of the Taurus field of our heart. So Venus rules Taurus, and Taurus is feminine, not masculine. It's not a bull, it's a cow. And Venus is masculine, and this is Lucifer disguising as that pure Venus coming out of the cookie, the shell. And this is that Kali, raw sexual black magic. She's earth, she's fixed earth, and this is high cardinal air. Then we've got Mars, which is aggression and masculinity and sexual energy and our ego and our ability to protect ourselves when in danger. And it's all our aggressive energy, how we take action, how we react. And Mars rules masculine Aries, fire, and feminine water, Scorpio. So this is fire and ice. Mars rules fire and ice, and Jupiter also rules fire and ice. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, expansion. This is the further travel than Gemini. It's the other mutable, fire, air mutable, and this is the earth, water mutable. So Jupiter and Mars both have this fire and ice thing going on, and that's how they heat up our conductors on the hot and cold thermometer, because we are hot, cold, dry and moist, and we're a mixture of those four. And then we have Saturn, who is at the top of the wheel, and the only planet to rule two signs side by side. So each house that holds a sign represents about 2,200 years. The sun always rises here in Aries, that's why it's in exaltation, and it falls in Libra. That's why we have Alpha Omega. And the chart is set out like this because of the equinox and the solstice, which separate the 4 seasons, and there are 3 months in those 4 seasons. And the 4 seasons represent the 4 elements: earth, fire, water and air. And the 3 months in each season represent that liquid, solid, gas, mutable, cardinal, fixed, cardinal, the Trinity in all its forms: the little child, the mature mother, the pre-sexual girl, the mother, and the old wise lady. It's the journey from youth to middle age to old age as well. It's, you know, it's the neutron, electron, proton. It's sulfur, salt, mercury. Mercury is needed in all chemistry. So it's very important, this Jack and Jill. It's very important. Babylon, the age of Babylon, Leo here, opposite Aquarius, where we're going. They were the gold makers. This is Sun in exaltation in Leo. This is the Sun King. This is Louis, the Sun King. But he's also a monkey, and people didn't know how to speak. They were babbling. The kings and the queens, they had made love to the women of earth, and they created their Babylon. And they knew all this astrology. They knew all the knowledge that we lost when the sun rose here in Aries and fell in Libra. That's why we've got Lucifer, because the sun is in fall in Libra. It's the opposite. The sun goes under the underworld for 6 months. So he takes Presperone into the underworld, Virgo, Miranda. This is the DNA. And what's going on is that they want to take, this is the whore of Babylon. She makes love with the people of Babylon, and also the 2 sides, the whore of Babylon and the little pre-sexual girl. The real Virgin Mary is Cancer here. She is the destructive Kali, because Cancer is destruction, Leo is chaos, the teenager, and that comes into creation, Capricorn, and into order, heaven, Aquarius. So the people ruling this world are the Babylonians and the Phoenicians, or the Judaism. And they use this white and black energy of Pisces Virgo. Virgo is the whore of Babylon, and they are trying to take over the Twin Peaks, this age where we merge back as one. We became Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve separated here, Scorpio and Libra, and then we had to live this experience. This was the flood. This is when the Greeks and the Platos got going again. This is Egypt. This is the Old Testament. This is the New Testament. And then we've got New Age going on now, bringing us into Aquarius and Saturn. So this is the lead to gold. Saturn is also lead. But you have to get past Saturn to become the 8 again. And so you've got 4, when I talk about 4 L's, this is the 4 corners, the 4 L's between the equinox and the solstice, which is what's this, the swastika. So these are the 4 L's. This is just when we learn how to spin ourselves, negative, positive, right and left, which makes the Torah, that's why this high priestess has got Torah written on her lap, because she's trying to take over the heart's frequency, Taurus fields. Taurus field heart. Okay, Taurus field heart. So there we go. You all know this now. This is the Taurus field. This is the eye of the beholder. This is what we're in. So we have to come back. There it is fixed as the Leo da Vinci. You see, Leo is that Babylon. There's the high priestess again. What's this? Okay, so this, if I then take you, so you've got the L. The L is the 4 L's is the 4 phases of the moon, and it's also the 4 seasons, the 4 continents, the 4 parts of our brain, the 4 parts of our hearts. Everything is connected. I mean, it's just ridiculous to think that there's any separation when we, it's very simple. Everything is made very complicated when it's all about going within. It's that implosion. They make this explosion energy on the outwards, but they don't let us go inwards because they keep us on the 3 spin. Okay, I want to try and stay focused here. You see, this one here, we've got rulerships and detriments. So you've got planets which are in happy places that where they rule, when they're in the opposite sign, then the planet is in fall. So that's what that's explaining, but we're maybe not going to go into that right now. Okay, so stay focused. Let's go to the Baphomets. Where's the Baphomets? Here's the Baphomets. So the Baphomet, from medieval Latin, Baphomet, Baphometi, Occitan, is a deity that the Knights of the Templar, the sword in the stone, were accused of worshipping, and that subsequently was incorporated into disparate occult and mystical traditions. The name Baphomet appeared in trial transcripts for the Inquisition of the Knights Templar starting in 1307. It first came into popular English usage in the 19th century during debatable and speculation on the reasons for the suppression of the Templars. So this is that same high priestess. Okay, there's that moon. This is the Baphomets. The Baphomet is controlling this pre-sexual, to become mother, to become the old wise lady. This is the journey of the 3 elements of earth, normally. Taurus is the mother cow, the child is Virgo, and the old lady is Capricorn, where we're going, cardinal. So we've got the mutable Virgo, fixed Taurus, and the cardinal heir of Capricorn. Let me just log in here and just get, what's this, the full moon. Okay, let's go see the full moon. Okay, so here's everybody again. We've got, these are the elements of earth. We've got Virgo, the young pre-sexual. We've got Taurus, and they want to keep us on Aldebaran. These are the 4 fixed stars. Antares, Scorpio, Aldebaran, Taurus, Aquarius, Fomalhaut, and Leo Regulus. So this is the fixed cross that we're about to go on to, and also the cardinal. This is the top of the wheel here that Saturn rules. Then Jupiter rules these 2, Mars rules these 2, Venus rules these 2, Mercury rules these 2, and the Sun rules Leo, and the Sun rules Cancer. So you've just got to bear with me and join these dots, because this is, you're going to get this. So we've worked out, this is the swastika, the 4 L's that separate the 4 seasons, and when it's static, it's just that flat, the star, that five-pointed star of Morocco in between the crescent moon. That's what they want. They want to have us fixed in the journey of Venus that makes the electromagnetic spin of our hearts. That's why Venus rules the heart. In the sky, it makes a 5-petal flower. So to get to that 5-petaled element, to get to that 5G, we need to get this 4 spinning. So we become observers of our wheel. You know, we have to come back to astrology. Astrology, in its pure alchemical form, is just a keeper of the heaven and earth and the rhythms and the pendules of life and of ourselves. So if you manipulate that basic rhythm and the different angles and angels, you can get trines and squares and all different patterns in this guitar that makes up whatever given moment we're going through. Every single instant there's a different sound of music being played, and we get born on those certain moments. So we carry a tune. Okay, so that was just to give you that visually. So coming back to Mr. Baphomet's, that's the swastika. So this is the electromagnetic spin of left and right. Negative takes us into the destruction, and then the implosion and the explosion, and that implosion can take us through death, but we keep going. We just go to a higher frequency, and there's a midpoint balance, which is the equinox between these two spins. So we come back to Mr. Baphomet. So here's the 5-pointed star, and here is that crescent moon in both its angles, from the phases from black moon to quarter moon to half moon to full moon to quarter moon to crescent moon and to black moon again. That's the journey, and that is what it's 4, but starts with the 2 pillars of the 2 black moons. So they're using this double black moon that I've spoken about in the previous video in Virgo right now to crown the high priestess GRETA that brings Babylon, Leo, Oz, Asia, and this is being ruled by the Antichrist, by Scorpio. So the 4 fixed stars, Scorpio, Antares, Taurus, Aldebaran, they want to keep us on that equinox, but we're going on to the opposite equinox. The solstice becomes the equinox, which is Aquarius, Fomalhaut, and Leo Regulus. And this they're trying to take over the twin peaks of the Saturn and to keep this as the sun and the moon. Babylon the sun, and Judaism white as merging the moon, Mary Magdalene and Jesus Pisces. But they can't do that. Virgo is not the Virgin Mary. The Virgin Mary is Cancer. Okay, so let me just show you again this Baphomet's. Where's Mr. Baphomet? Okay, well, I'll show you the lunar phase as we're here. So we start with the black moon. Show it's better here. So we got black moon, new moon. Then we've got that first. These are the 2 crescent. They're trying to keep these 2 pillars and to take over the power of that full mother moon. And they're working with the other planets, with Venus, with Mercury, and that's what I'm going to show you on the Baphomets. When when we go back into the twin peaks, there will be no need for the sun and the moon. We will have merged our north and south. So this whole moon and sun crap is over. We won't have periods anymore. We'll go back to pure creation of the woman, without being, I know it's very sad because, you know, we love to be women and men together, but all men begin as women, and we're going to go back to that androgynous energy. It will take a long time, but that is the ultimate energy as we increase in frequency and we realize what this material world really is all about. So this is that whilst I'm here, this is the shape the sun makes. This is the 8, and there are 7 ruling planets. Okay, we've got the 7 ruling planets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Mars is our root chakra, ego. Jupiter is our sacrum, desire, flesh. Solar plexus is the sun and the moon. Venus is our heart. She's in the center here, in the heart. Mercury is our throat. And then Saturn is our third eye. And the crown is that perfect 8 of infinity. And we can pass back through the matter, and we get that this is the crucifixion point. That's why in the last video you see Jesus crucified. The T, this is the DNA strand. The sun is the electromagnet, is the electro pulse. It's the electron. This is the pulse. This is the sine wave that gives us life. And this is also so at the moment we're in a circle with 4 fixed angles of these 4 L's. But when we get the spin, we come out of the sun and the moon. So the sun makes an 8, and the moon makes that 5, and that makes 11, and that makes 11. The sun and the moon makes 11, which takes us into the 11th door of Aquarius. So this Aquarius is the 11th door. We can't really see that there. Okay, so let's come back to the importance of everything happening right now. Okay, so this is the Baphomet again, compared to the High Priestess. And here we've got Mercury, so Jack and Jill, Gemini and Virgo, ruled by Mercury. And they've got it, it rules the 2 sides, okay? It's the 2 sides, the electro, they want to use that as the electromagnetic spin. They've got the journey of Venus in this 5-petaled flattened star, keeping us in the material. And they've got the moon. They've taken over the power of the full moon in this ritual that I'm going to show you, because they take over the 2 sides of the crescent and gibbous moon before it returns to black, the 2 black. So this is Mars. This is not a goat but the ram. It's pretending to be Saturn, Capricorn, when Capricorn is that high cardinal mother. She is the old wise lady. And there's the fire. So you've got Mars, Venus, Mercury, and the sun and the moon playing the black and white pillars. And so this is important, okay? And I'll show you they're using the crescent and the gibbous moon to take over the full moon, and that ritual. So this is the High Priestess, this is GRETA, with Babylon and Judaism, Boris Johnson on each side, and they want to make her into the whore of Babylon, into the High Priestess of Babylon, back to black. We're coming out of Pisces Judaism, and we're coming back to black. This is, for us personally, it's an incredible time, because we're going to pick up speed and start to spin through this last transmutable push of Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto in Sagittarius. before we hit high cardinal at the end of 2020. So, you know, those of us transmuting and becoming ready to enter the Twin Peaks, we're fine. But this is a mass ritual to keep those who don't get this higher understanding. Okay, so I'm going to show it to you now here. And it goes a bit deeper because the triple L also talks about 21. The 322 skull and bones cross. So here, the 322 skull and bones cross, Virgo, opposite Pisces, Sagittarius, opposite Gemini. So this is for the full moon on the 13th. So here we've got the moon, opposite sun in Virgo. So we've got, this is exactly what they want. This is the Babylonian black and the white Judaism. So they want to take the sun and moon, Leo and Cancer, underneath Capricorn, and this is the true Twin Peaks up here, and Aquarius ruled by Saturn. So this is their perfect ritual of this blood moon, with 2 black moons that begin on each side of her, the Virgo, which is an exceptional thing. I haven't been to check, but this could be a hundreds of year phenomena that we haven't had 2 black moons in one sign. So we've got this full moon bang on this black and white, which is what they use for the sun and the moon here, for Solomon, Babylon. So that is the mutable cross. So we've got the earth, water, fire, and this is where the head and the tail of the snake is. The head is in Sirius. This is the dog star, and I'm going to take you through the journeys of Mercury, and Mercury has done 4 retrogrades from last November to this coming Halloween, and this is the 4 that they're going to use, their fake spin, to bring us into their fake Twin Peaks, which is all happening now, because once Jupiter gets into Saturn, he's in full. They need to use all this power up of him coming into his home, Sagittarius, next year. You see, he's here in Scorpio. Next year he's going to join Saturn and Pluto and the tail of the snake. And that head is on their dog star, the magician, Orion. This is all perfect. And they had 9/11 Jack, Gemini, fall in 9/11, and they had Jill when again the head of the snake was here on Sirius. Notre Dame fell, representing the true Mary Magdalene energy of that Virgo girl. So they're using the 3 triple goddess, the 3 sides of Virgo, to keep us in this 21, so we don't finish the true cycle of the moon to get to 28. And the moon moves 7.38 every 7.38 days. It goes to one of those phases of the moon that I said to you: crescent, half, full, half, crescent, back to black. So that is the full cycle we need. We don't want to get stuck here on this full moon. We're going to make it through. And this is it happening. So where are we now? Oh, this is incredible. We're going to take you through all this. We're going to have the moon on Regulus. So it's always about the 4 and the 3. So all magic, they're going to have to use the 4 and the 3. There are 4 seasons, there are 3 months. There are 4 elements, there are 3, there's mutable, fixed and cardinal. There's the 3 movements. You've got the elements and the movements. So every season you have that part where the energy is becoming. Every season we're now in mutable, so it's windy, things are changing, and then we're going to get into high cardinal, the middle of autumn, and then we're going to get into fixed Scorpio, and then we're going to go into mutable Sagittarius for the beginning of the winter, and then we're going to go into high cardinal Earth, Capricorn, where we're in the heart of the winter, we're on that solstice, and creation is beginning again deep down in the earth. And then you hit Aquarius, which is the pre-recreation fixed air. So it's a continual chemistry. And this is why this is so important for this ritual. And let's just go through it. So let's go back to the Mercury retrogrades. We're going to start by looking at the 4 Mercury retrogrades and why the 4th retrograde about to go off after this passage of the double black MOMO Moon. The 4th one is going to set off where it began, here. So in 2018, on the 11th, so this is 7/11. The 4 phases of the moon is 7 days, 0.38. Well, that's 7/11. 38 is 11. And 11 is also that 3 phases of the moon. This here, this here. The 3 phases of the moon and the 5-pointed star in the circle. This is what they're doing now. This is the full moon. And I haven't even been to look at the Venus retrogrades, but this is possibly a closing Venus retrograde journey. She goes retrograde every 2.5 years. So there's definitely going to be a Venus retrograde coming up to close that 5, or we've just had it. So you see, that is the capture. It's also the Fatima hand. You always have the Fatima hand. You've got the 5 fingers. The 5 fingers is this Fatima. And these are those phases of the moon. So they're using Virgo without the whole process of you need the true 5. You need to merge the whole moon to get out of the sun and the moon. Yeah, okay, so let's carry on. I wanted to show, yeah, we're going here. We're going to the retrogrades. That's the other thing I wanted to say. 322 Skull and Bones. 322 Skull and Bones is 88. Now that was me working it out in my head, so that's not very, that's not the best. You know what? I'm going to write it down on paper because that's how I do maths. 22, 22, 22, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's 6, 6. So it's all the play, the game of 3 and 6, and the 3 and the 6 make the 9. That's what it is. 22 is where we're going, catch 22, 2020. And the 321 is the spin of the 3 retrogrades I'm going to show you of Mercury that he does for 21 days. Something else I worked out on that, but so yeah, let's just see the 322 Skull and Bone. Skull and Bones cross. Okay, so this is just the mutable cross. It's just the mutable cross. So you see, you've got, do they show us a picture of the different, I normally have, there's a very good picture somewhere that I normally find. It shows that mutable is that cross. It's the St. George's flag. It's the dragon. Hey, there's the south and the north node. Now this is something I was thinking. It could be that these elliptic paths of the sun and the moon, and where they cross is the south and north node. That's what gives us eclipses, whenever the sun and the moon are either conjunct or opposite. That's how we get partial and lunar and solar eclipses. But what about if, as we come into the Twin Peaks, that's why Saturn becomes the sun again? All those Tolbert videos where he says the plasma is going to come. Because you see, when this merging happens, you either become the battery force, or you go into, you metamorphosis into a new energy where you become the kings and the queens on the chessboard. You can move around as you please. there will be no need of the sun and the moon as the merging of this, because we're going into the kingdom, we're going into the twin peaks, only 144. The sun moves 72 degrees. When we go back to Saturn, heaven and earth, we're in the golden age. There's no more need for Solomon and all these tricks of the high priestess. This is her keeping us in the sun and the moon, using Leo Babylon, the whore of Babylon in the middle, and coming out of Judaism, Pisces, the white and black energy, to keep us in the flesh and the matter, and in that Baphomet, in the flesh. These people, they rule the flesh, the fleshly body. They don't want to get to spirit, and they're telling us that they're real tricksters. This is the ram, that is the V of the Aries sign. That is the 322, because they used Mercury for his 21 power, but we don't get past the Las Vegas nerve in the neck. We don't use our voice, so we can't make the spin. This is Aldebaran. This is the bull. This is Venus that rules Aldebaran. This is keeping us. This is the Wicked Witch of the East and West Way, WWMM. This is Mickey Mouse and Willy Wonka. This is the 13. WW makes it 13, 13, 26. 26 brings us back to this 8-8. This 8-8. There are 88 constellations in the sky. So you're beginning to get it. I mean, all the dots are here. So this 21, Mercury, this is why it's important, because he doesn't take us to the full 4 L's that we need for the swastika spin, for the true electromagnetic heart spin that takes us out of just being in the flesh. Okay, this is why it's important. So here we have 11-7, which is 11-7. It's the gateway. It's the gateway of September, Virgo, that takes us into Aquarius. 11. This is what's being taken over with their 3. They use to get to the 11. They use the 3 phases of the moon. And they use the 5-pointed star of our ether to take over our ether, our spin, and that's how they make 5 and 3 is 8, and then the Trinity 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. How did I get there again? Yeah, the 38 of the days of the moon moves, so 7.38. That's the 8 and the 3. That makes 11. Anyway, I'm going to get more clear as the days go along, but here is, let's have a look. This was the black moon of 007. So we had a black moon on Libra, and then we had another one on this 13th sign, and this full moon is on the 13th, right? So this is all about Antichrist, the Wicked Witch of the East, working with Westway. This is your black. The kings from Babylon are from here, and opposite Westway, Taurus, keeping us in the flesh of that material Taurus. When you find your true values, we return to spirits. So that black moon, okay, is on the 12th, and between those 2 black moons on the 7-7, this is why it's so important, because then we're going to come to what we're living now, the 2 black moons in Virgo. We had a Mercury retrograde. So I'm going to show you these Mercury retrogrades, because the last Mercury retrograde is going to set off our last transmutation to make it, and the Tempest, into the true twin peaks. Mercury. Okay, so here's Mercury. Watch Mercury. Let's go back to the first 11. and he goes back around Antares. That's his first, number 1 in Antares. Let me watch these. So we go from 2018, the double 7 black moon. There's the next one, over, just coming in Pisces. So we've had in Cardinal, Libra, Lucifer, Pisces, Jupiter. Lucifer, Libra is Venus, rules Taurus and Libra. This is Jupiter. So these are the gang that rule the Baphomets. It's coming over to Jupiter's car. He's going from Aquarius back to Pisces. Let's just watch where he began going backwards. It's important. So he started off, he's in Aquarius, now he's in Pisces. So it's definitely in Pisces. He goes back, and now this, the March the 12th, is the time that we were having the moon, oh my goodness, that I did my videos about. This is her passage of an exact triple goddess over this. This is what I'm showing you. She did this, what that she's doing it again now, but she did it right over the bullseye, which is this. This is the 3 and the 5. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. So watch this. Let's go in and watch. So there's the crescent. Oops. I'm going to have to go out a bit to watch it better. So as that second Mercury retrograde was going on, so this is how they're all working together in the Baphomet. That's what the Baphomet I'm showing you. We're going back to Saturn. These planets can take back their regular roles of our heart, voice, solar plexus. Okay, stay with me. Let's go. Let's just go over with. Let's just show you here. Let's go back. So this is, we got the half, this crescent moon going over Aldebaran. So it's just the crescent phase, but again we've got the crescent moon, and so we had the black moon on the 7-7 for the second Mercury retrograde. We've got a first crescent moon. Okay, very interesting, on Aldebaran, and I think that is that Baphomet. This is why this ritual from when my son did his play in London at the Tabernacle, where the sheep is slayed, Death and the Girl. This is the ritual to the end of Europe. This is, Pisces is Europe. Pisces, Virgo is Europe. We're going into Aquarius, North America, opposite Leo, Asia, and they want to be this twin peaks with Solomon underneath, so they want to take the cardinal Capricorn Earth, ruled by Saturn, opposite Cancer Moon, which is that's the South America, NASA, North, South. Anyway, you get it. You know what I mean. So let's go back to these Mercury retrogrades. Where's Mercury? Mercury. So we've got one on the double black 7 moon in Libra last November, then one here on the 13th as the moon was going over Aldebaran, and there's the Mercury going backwards in Pisces over the messenger, Jonah's tail. And there it's on the moon, Cancer, and it goes into Gemini, and look, it's right above Sirius. So we've got the first one on Antares, we've got the second one going on over Pisces whilst the moon's in Aldebaran, and at that time we've got a Venus Sun conjunction in Cancer. So we're in July. This is why the constellations aren't correct. You see, this is August, and the Sun is still in Cancer, and this is the big ritual that we had that I've been writing about and explaining. This was the Solomon that we went through, and there was a black moon. There was a black moon. Who's that there? It's Venus, right? Let's just see. Up there. There was the black moon. Yeah, I remember writing about that in Cancer. So another black moon just after the third Mercury retrograde that is above this dog star Sirius that works with Merlin. These are these two black and white fake pillars working with Aldebaran. So we've just done, the moon went over Aldebaran. This is all black magic. This is Isis. Incredible. Well, I mean, it's black magic if you don't know what's going on. If you know what's going on, it's all great. We're getting prepared to merge those three parts of the woman, to face death, to become the spin. You know, we've been working on it for the past 20 years. This is the climax. But if you don't know about it, it can be used against us. And look, the moon was then, now, so if the moon's there, yeah, that was the black moon, and there was Venus there as well. Okay, back to Mercury. Back to Mercury. So he goes over, look, there's Sirius. This is conjunct to Sirius. Wow. And as he moves forwards, this is just for that full moon, where they're all there, Venus, and then they all began their journey all together through Leo, and this is all your Baphomets, planets that are ruling in the Baphomets, all preparing for this Virgin MOMO that we're living now here. Okay, so that was the third, and the fourth is going to be back in Libra, Lucifer. There's Mercury, we're watching Mercury. That was this is all coming up to G7. There we go, G7. They all went through the Lion Gates. And then we have our black moon. And this time Mercury is right on Spica. There's Mercury. I've got the wrong one. Incredible. So the fourth, that now it's just for this black moon, Mercury's on Spica. And then for the fourth that we're going to have after the second black moon on the 28th, Mercury goes backwards again, and this is the final. So this will be, you know, the absolute forlorn Mary Magdalene in all her forlorn, lost her Prince Charming, didn't kiss the twin flame to become that electromagnetic pulse, activating from the deepest sexual desires to the mother, to the wise old lady. Gold is old. Okay, and that is going to be the opening of Jupiter going into Sagittarius, Saturn, Pluto, the Tempest, and it's also, we had this full moon in Pisces, in this Pisces Virgo. Okay, now let's go and have a look at what this is going on now with This is all the build up to 2020 are. So let's have a look at these black moons and the phases of where these crescent moons are. That gives us the full moon cycle. The full moon cycle. I've got so much open here. Here we go. So this is what we're going to watch now. They want to take over the Virgin Mary, and you see, the Virgin Mary is destruction. She's also Kali. She has to go through, the child comes through the portal of life and death. There are two sides to Cancer. Cancer is nurturing and loving, but also destructive. That's why the flood was in the age of Cancer. They want to use her energy. So this is, rebirth. For those of you ready, they are using the three. I'll just show you. So we've got on the 9th of the 28th. So this is 28 makes 10, and these two double black moons makes 10, which makes 20, and this is the 2020 MOMO. So there's the first black moon. Okay, big black moon in Virgo. And you have to go see the video before, because it all goes in a lot more depth. This is explaining in more depth the first video. And then we're going to watch that moon. It does its first little crescent. We want the moon now. We want the moon. So on the 3rd, it was conjunct to Jupiter, doing its pre-ritual, because that full moon is going to be on the 13th, and this is their famous never-ending war with the snake. So you're always trying to remain equal, socialism, but it's a never-ending war. You didn't make it through. It's like going to AA or religion. You're always going to try and stay in the positive, and you're never going to burn that negative. Kali, destruction, Cancer, Mother Goddess. She's also destruction. She's the life and death portal. So this is the moon in that crescent, which is that side in. This is again the Baphomet and the High Priestess. This is this crescent moon, and we're going to have the black moon. Can't even see it here, but we saw it in the Baphomet. In the Baphomet, you see it. Oh, I'm no good at this. There's the Baphomet. So this is all the gang working now. Mercury, Venus. This is the other moon. They've got the black down here. Okay, so there is that first phase. It's officially called the first phase. So we want 4 phases of the moon. And now the second stage. We're going to have the full moon. Then we've got the half moon. So the half moon is going to be about... we want it when it's at about 50. To see the half moon. So where's that moon gone? Moon. Okay, there's that moon. So there we've got the half moon, you see. It's kind of exactly half moon. But the phases, remember, are 7.38 days between each of these phases. That's your 7-11. This is 4 7-11s. Dub L, LL, 11, LL. And remember the swastika, the 4 L's. So you've got the trip L goddess, which is those 3 phases, but we need the 4 phases. So this is, and each of them takes 7.38, 711. So 4 711s. Oh, I'm going to do some more maths. Okay, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 44. So we've got the 44 and the 88. We've got the 44 and the 88. Okay, so that is on the 6th of the 10th. And then we move to the full moon. Okay, here's the full moon, big and full, 199%, very nearly full moon, and then we move to around the 70, and right on top of the magician. Holy moly. So the black moon, this next gibbonus, this is the monkey, this is king of the jungle, monkey, man's red fire. This is the 4th stage. So I've shown you the first, which is when 4 people were killed in Paris, and P4 came out on the 3rd of October. And then we just saw, you have to go back, we saw the half moon, that's the 2nd phase. Then the full moon doesn't count, she's like the 2 black moons, she's in the middle, so they're taking over the 3. And then we've got the 4, this is, it's the 7 chakras again. And then we've got the half moon, I just showed you. And then this black crescent right on Merlin, right on what this Boris Johnson, what this priestess is used for, taking the child energy to feed up the Aldebaran Taurus, to feed their 5G, their fake 5th element, the 5-pointed star, the Luciferian star. So look, that's going to be right there. Incredible. Maybe a little bit. Oh, that's it. That's absolutely it. Okay, so that, and then we go back to the black moon on the 28th. And that is back in Virgo. Here we go. That. And when this happens, Mars is going to be all on his own. Ra, right on top of this pre-sexual whore of Babylon. There's Ra, about to have his way with her for this 2nd. Yeah, this is incredible. And at the same time, then we've got the other guys moving in to begin this journey over the 13th sign. On the scales of wisdom, we've got Venus, our heart, and this is the feather. Oh my God, that is the judgment of the Egyptian that carries the heart and the feather. This is when you're going to weigh your heart and your feather. Air, Mercury, air, Venus, solid heart. Oh my goodness. I mean, these videos are going to get deeper and deeper, but I'm sharing as I join the dots, and it's all enormous. And this finishes the cycle, because then we've got Mercury going to do his last 4th, which is the 4 spin. The 4 spin, the spin is going to be set off, but who can stand still through the tempest? It's going to be set off from London 007 in London, the 2 black moons, when this play my son did, The Death and the Girl, was shown at the Tabernacle in November, December. And then for Halloween, see, this is Halloween coming up, Mercury is going to do his last backwards. Yeah, I went far too far backwards. So from the 10th, 28th, and we're going forwards. So he goes forward. Oh no, I'm on Venus. Sorry gang, we go back to the last black pillar moon, 1028, and get Mercury going. So there's Mercury going backwards. That is the 4th, and again over Antares, just as 7/11, just as 7/11 black moon, 007. We had at the same time, there's Mercury. Mercury was in the middle of doing a retrograde from Virgo. You see, that one was really important because Mercury began in Virgo. It goes to Libra, it goes back over Libra, and then it went back into Virgo. Right, it's all there. I've said, I've poured my heart out. There's so much to say, trying to put it into my little articles. It had to come into a video. You've got the triple. You've got the triple goddess. What we're living right now. The 2 pillars. This is this. They want to make the Virgin into the full moon, which we're having on the 13th, the blood moon. She's going to get, oh my God. This is turning her into the whore of Babylon, and that's why Mars is on his own there with her. This is why. This is why for the full moon, Mars, Ra, is going to fuck her, take her virginity and turn her into the whore of Babylon, so that we don't make it into the twin. Well, I mean, this is, you just, if you get this story, then it's just a divine comedy, because they play out all this story on Earth, so you don't look after yourself and work out your own little spin to come out of this den and not be taken over by Islam, Antares, the wicked witch of the east, and west way, Antares, opposite. And we come into this Twin Peaks, Fomalhaut, the stone the philosophers rejected, Giza, opposite the Sphinx. That's why they use the Sphinx as the phoenix. You've got to transmute from the whore of Babylon into this third eye, 8. Figure of 8, G8 spot, which is the sun. When you become that G8, there'll be no need for the sun and the moon. When you can become the 4 phases of the moon, right, I read it in yesterday's, but I'm gonna have to read it again. 4 phases of the moon. Okay, 4 phases of the moon. Yep, it's already there for us. So when we merge the moon and our north node, south node, we get this rhythm of the 8, the eternal. We become the center of this eternal flow of the 8, and we master the 4 corners, the 4 L's. We don't get stuck in the 3 phases of this woman. We face death, and that activates our true moon. The mother is also the destroyer, and that's Venus tries to pretend to be the mother and the destroyer, Venus and Kali, but it's truly the mother, the moon, that is that. And these are the 4 phases, and this is how they describe it. In Western culture, the 4 principal phases of the moon. That's the 4 and the 8. That makes the 11. That's what we need to get into Aquarius, the 11th door. This is where this spin is taking us, merging the sun, the 8, Amanim, whatever it's called. It's got its name. That sun. There. Okay, do they tell you the name? Oh, give me a break. They keep you so in the... They don't even give... It's called a lamanima, an alimana. You just tap. Well, I'll do it. Let's do it. 8, Sun. 8, Sun journey. So my keyboard doesn't work. I can't use my mouse and keyboard at the same time. An anima, a lamina. I think I got it. It's a lamina. It's the journey of the sun. It's 8, Sun journey. Figure. Sky. Here we go. Here we go. Analemena. Why? That's it. Analemena. Infinite loop. This is the infinite loop. This is the 8. Okay, so we're merging the 8s of the sun and the 4 phases of the moon. But they're keeping us focused on this high priestess and this 3 to take us into Islam and the Baphomet and keeping us stuck in the flesh. So 8 and 4 is 11, and they use the 3 and the 5. They use the 3 and the 5 to keep us stuck in that Baphomet. In that Baphomet. And they're using, yeah, you get it. So what was I showing you? Oh yeah, I was showing you the sun. Well, we've worked it out. We've done it. We've done it. There's enough dots there for you to put this together with the first video, and there will surely be a third part as I get clearer and clearer on this. But this is the spin, the skull and bone spin, the 322. I added up the 322, which makes 66. Yeah, this is all about being able to, and that's 777. We go from, they want to take from 666 material into 777, which is, yeah, that's the other bit I didn't explain to you from yesterday. Aleister Crowley's 777 is that triple moon. It's the 3 retrograde 777 days that Mercury spends. It spends 3 weeks, 21 days, which is 3 sevens. And so they're using Mercury. We need the 4 spin. We need to get to the 28, the 4 journey of the moon, for it to be authentic. Otherwise, we don't get past the voice, the vagus nerve. So that's why it's so important. And they're using the 4 journey from 2018 007 Black Moons that I've just taken you through. It's all in that video. Okay, darlings, I love you.